Hi guys, and this is Aditya Aluwalia from Finstructor. And in this review, we'll try to study all about the CFA exam and we'll try to go into as much details as feasible. So we'll start with understanding what does the CFA stand for and what it is, the enrollment criteria, exam topics, cost, deadlines, the computer-based structure, what are the career opportunities, and about the Finstructor's training courses. Now, CFA stands for Chartered Financial Analyst, or CFA, and it's a globally recognized professional designation given by the CFA Institute. As I like to explain it, it's an exam based on finance, assumes no prior knowledge of finance, so starts with the very basics and takes you all the way up to the most advanced concepts over a course of 3 levels. The exam was first administered in 1963 in the United States, and now it's become very global. So especially the growth in Asia, India, and China has been very strong, and it's a globally respected charter and considered as a gold standard for the investment industry. So about 167,000 professionals across 165 countries own this designation. JP Morgan, UBS, Morgan Stanley, all big banks, all asset management firms are some of the biggest employers of CFA charter holders. Now, what is the value of the charter? As you will expect, a powerful global network, strong commitment to ethics and professionalism, which are increasingly becoming very important. So ethics forms a major part of the exam also in all 3 levels. Real-world skills for making complex investment decisions, recognized by employers globally. Both practical investment analysis as well as management skills are taught to some extent. Not to a great degree, but yeah, to some extent, I would say. And career advancement and general knowledge and education. I think I've personally taken many exams. You name the designation: CFA, FRM, CAIA, MBA. I mean, I've done all courses there are to do from a finance perspective. And definitely, as far as knowledge is concerned, and from the basics to the advanced concepts of investment analysis, and the CFA exam and the CFA charter are by far the best that I have personally taken. Um, Moving on to how do you become a CFA charter holder? So you have to, of course, the most important and the most difficult step is to pass all 3 exams, and we'll go in details as to how we go about enrolling and taking these exams. Achieve work experience of 3 years or 4,000 hours, get some reference letters, and then you become a charter holder. So of course, the most important step is passing the exam. And we've given some more links on where you can go and read about these requirements. So to enroll into the level 1 exam, you should either have a bachelor's degree or you should be fewer than 11 months away from getting your bachelor's degree. So the selected exam window must be 11 months or fewer before your graduation month. So the idea essentially is that you must have completed your degree program prior to sitting your level 2 exam, which can be earliest 6 months after you take your level 1 exam. So you should either be in your final year essentially, or you should have a bachelor's degree. And again, work experience requirements, I think you can read more on the website, but generally you have to show them that you have had some link to the concepts that you've studied in CFA, or in your job, you're using it to some extent. So normally not very difficult to prove. And all candidates need to have a valid international travel passport. So that is another requirement before you sit for the exam. 3 levels. Level 1 will talk about knowledge and comprehension and the various investment tools, and a big focus on ethics here. So it happens 4 times a year: Feb, May, August, and November. Level 2 of the exam will focus more on application analysis and asset valuation. And this is conducted twice a year in Feb and August. And level 3 has a big focus on portfolio management and real world application of the tools that you've studied at level 1 and 2. And this happens twice a year in May and November. So the minimum time required to clear all three levels is about 24 to 18 months, and the average time that people take is about 4 years to complete all three levels of the CFA program. Now, across levels, your knowledge is tested around 10 topic areas. That is ethics, quantitative analysis, economics, financial reporting, corporate finance, equity, fixed income, derivatives, alternative investments, and portfolio management. These weightages will vary from level to level, but these are the broad topics that will be tested across levels. Of course, as we mentioned, level one focuses more on the foundations and basics, and it'll change a little bit as we move on to level 2 and 3. So the cost of the exam, so you have to pay a one-time enrollment fees of USD 50 for 450, and then I think for all levels it's a 700 early registration and $1,000 late registration that you need to pay. And you can visit the website and get more details about the exam. So if you're retaking any of these exams or for level 2, you just have to pay the enrollment fees depending on whether you register early or you register late. Important deadlines, you can refer to this slide depending on when you plan to take the exam. You can see the early registration deadline, the standard deadline, and the rescheduling deadlines if you need to reschedule. So the exam window will be 18th to 24th May for the May exam. This is for level 1, 13th to 30th for August, 16th to 22nd for the 21 exam, and 15 to 21 for the February exam. So it's conducted 4 times a year, and these are the timelines. So yeah, you can refer to this so that you don't spend extra money on enrollment. The structure now is a computer-based test. So the exam will be 4.5 hours with an optional 30-minute lunch break in between. And candidates will have 135 minutes for 90 questions in each part. So 2 parts. Session 1 will test ethics, quants, economics, and FRA, and it'll all be mixed, so no particular order. And session 2 will have corp fin, equity, fixed income, derivatives, portfolio management, alternative investments. Again, the questions will be 90 questions over 135 minutes. So approximately 90 seconds is what they expect you to answer one question in. There will be 3 choices and no penalty for incorrect answer. So you have to pick one out of 3 choices. So that is the multiple choice format for level 1. The results are generally declared 45 days from the last day of the exam window, and failed candidates can retake the exam after 5 months, and they have to pay the registration fees. The enrollment fees they won't have to pay again. Generally, the CFA Institute will only tell you about a pass or a fail. So there will be a thick blue line on your result. So if you are above the line is above the minimum passing score, it means you've passed. If it is below, that means you have failed. So generally they don't want to distinguish between charter holders as a top quartile or like the so it'll just be a pass or a fail that the exam result will indicate. Moving on to level 2, again, the topics are similar. Focus now will be more on equity, like investment tools and valuation, and relatively lesser on the basics of quant and economics and reporting. This was a bigger focus on level 1, but the broader topics remain the same. But please note that level 2, level 3 become tougher, even though pass percentages are higher, but it's because the candidates are already smarter at level 2 or more knowledgeable, so your competition is essentially getting tougher as you're moving from level 2 to level 3, so each subsequent level is tougher to pass. The exam costs, it's just the enrollment fees that you will have to pay, so that remains more or less the same as level 1. The deadlines, again, you can note for the 2 exam windows that are there for the level 2 exam. So in 21, there is an extra window, but generally there will be 2 exam windows, that is February and August for the level 2 exam. So again, make sure that you take note of the deadlines for the level 2 exam, depending on when you are planning to take the exam. Okay, this is available on the website also, but yeah, you can use this slide for reference. As far as the exam pattern is concerned, it will change at level 2 in the sense that the questions will now be in a vignette, like a small case study. And each case study will have 4 to 6 questions, which will be same, multiple choice, 3 options and 1 correct answer. No penalty for negative answers. So it'll be in a case study format. And of course, our question banks and all the material we'll give you will prepare you for these exams. But generally, the exam will be conducted in Feb and August, as I mentioned. So you have to make sure the deadlines according to this. So that's about the level 2 exam. Results will be 60 days from the last exam. And again, it will only notify whether you have passed or failed. Level 3, the key difference is that here the big focus will be on portfolio management. So you see 35 to 40% of this exam is portfolio management. And it'll all be real world application now. As far as the costs are concerned, they are more or less the same. So this it remains the same as level 1 and 2. This exam will happen twice in August and November of each year. So again, go on the website and take note of the important deadlines for the level 3 exam. And the only difference in the examination pattern is that now the first part of the exam, so it'll again, all 3 exams are 4.5 hours with an optional lunch break of 30 minutes. And so essentially 135 minutes each session. But the first session of level 3 will consist of constructed report or essay type questions. So here you will have to write or rather type a written response depending on the vignette. So again, there will be a case study or a vignette, and the morning session, or the first session rather, not morning, but the first session will have these written answers that you will have to write, and the second session will be similar to level 2, where there will be a vignette followed by 4 to 6 multiple choice questions based on that vignette. So yeah, that remains the same. Yeah, so that's about the level 3 exam. Again, the results will be notified 60 days after the last day of the exam window, and failed candidates can take the exam in the next available window, which is generally 5 to 6 months after the first window. So that's about the 3 exams. And a common question that students ask is that what is the historical pass rate? So about 44% for level 1. Level 2 was higher in December 20, but generally average is about 46%. And level 3 pass rate is about 55 to 56% for these exams. But please note that the competition is tougher at each level. So even though the pass rate is higher, the exams, or clearing the exams, is actually tougher because the candidates have already cleared level 1 and 2. You can visit the website if you want to have more details on this. What are the job roles that CFA charter holders hold? So honestly, this is just an indicative list is what I would say. If there is anything you want to do with finance, even if you're in the finance department of a manufacturing company, I really think that the skills and the tools that you will learn as a part of these this program will really help you. Or even if you're managing your own portfolio and your own money, and you want to learn about investments, I still think it is a worthwhile investment. So I have never had a candidate, I've had candidates that have failed all levels or level 1, and they quit after level 1. But I've never had a candidate that has told me that he regretted taking the exam or he didn't enjoy studying for the exam. So passing the exam is one part of it. It is really the preparation and the knowledge that you'll gain and the improvement you will see in yourself that is really the benefit of taking these exams. So, but yeah, for general, any buy side or sell side equity research, fixed income fund manager research, or portfolio manager role would have a CFA charter holder. So any research analyst, corporate finance of a manufacturing company, even accountants, consultants, risk analysts, the relationship managers in banks, credit analysts, portfolio managers, traders, all are common positions that people hold after earning the CFA job. But again, this is just an indicative list, and I think if you want to do anything with finance, this exam is worthwhile. Also about the salaries. So again, this is data combined by the institute. So this is the average base salary of portfolio managers, about 178,000 US dollars, and total compensation with bonus is generally twice that amount. And yeah, so that's what they do. So it is a benefit for your salary, no doubt. So I mean, these numbers don't matter, but yes, it'll definitely enhance your worth and to employers. And one thing about the CFA designation is that even more than the skill, it shows your commitment to hard work. So if a candidate comes and if I have to employ someone and he has a CFA charter, I would definitely know that he is smart, but more than that, he is a hardworking person, because to clear these exams, the amount of material that you have to study and the dedication that you have to put in, I mean, you are definitely a hardworking person to have cleared all three designations. You can't fluke or you can't guesswork your way out of these exams. So these exams are not exactly a test of intelligence, I would say. So you can be a very smart person, you can have a very high IQ, but if you don't put in the time and effort to go through the curriculum, there is no way you can pass the exam. So the curriculum is vast. Studying it one by one is easy, but to reproduce the entire knowledge on that one day of the exam is a tough job unless you have repeatedly studied the curriculum and understood the concepts. So you have to remember everything and reproduce it on that one day. So yeah, you have to work hard. So definitely it's a testament to your dedication and your intelligence both. But yeah, it's not about IQ. Just again, a bit of repetition. Why should you pursue it? It has global recognition, particularly valued in asset management, equity research, buy side. But again, as I mentioned, anything to do with finance, credibility and respect, recognized, appreciated by the entire finance sector. Salary is higher, better job prospects. And very importantly, at this point, it's important that the curriculum has detailed coverage and is constantly updated. So what that does is that a lot of degree and post-graduation courses actually are the curriculums are relatively more dated, I would say. And like for instance, now ESG is a very big topic in financial markets, and we have very few ESG experts, or the industry is still evolving. So the CFA curriculum will keep pace and include all these topics which are most current and relevant. And then as charter holders, we all have a responsibility to continuing education so that we keep ourselves updated with these recent developments in the financial markets. Yeah, this is definitely a very important advantage of the CFA charter. Finally, a lot of people ask questions, and I have a detailed presentation about the FRM exam. Is also one of my favorite exams, and I think is a very good exam. But a lot of people ask questions about the differences between the two. So how I like to explain is that CFA exam assumes no prior knowledge, starts from the basics, and takes you through essentially all concepts of finance. Whereas the FRM exam, in a way, also starts from the basics. We'll start from quantitative analysis, we'll start from the foundations of risk management, and take you all the way up to the most advanced concepts, but of risk management. So it's more relevant for, I would say, banking, insurance professionals, risk managers, or people, anyone working in a bank, essentially, even a trader or a fixed income portfolio manager. So anyone who's in a risk-taking environment, or a risk-taking entity. You can argue that all entities are risk-taking. Even a manufacturing firm is taking risk. So to that extent, yes, even the FRM is applicable to all industries, and is definitely a useful tool. It is my favorite exam, I would say. It is challenging, and it is more quantitative. So it's sometimes less theory, you can say, and more of analysis and more quantitative. So it's also a great exam, but I would say more focused towards risk management. That's the only difference. And we'll study about the cost, etc., in detail on the slide on FRM. And yeah, you can have the details here. I'm not going to go through them, But yeah, the enrollment fees and what they're trying to do. So yeah, FRM covers topics on risk, war, credit risk, operational risk, so on and so forth. And if you talk about the job roles, then again they would be more risk related if you ask about what FRM does. But again, any institution takes on risk. Any company, you can be a manufacturing company, you still take on risk. So it is also a good designation. And I would say there is no harm in taking both designations one after the other. I took both designations. I actually took them side by side. So both definitely added to my skills and knowledge sets. Yes, of course, there will be some overlap, but still, I would recommend doing both designations depending on the time you have. But yeah, if you are short of time, yeah, you can choose one depending on the role that you're in currently or what you want to be in. CFA is very broad-based and will teach you everything. CFA will teach you risk management also. So if you want a more broad-based designation, maybe you can go for the CFA. If you want to work in a bank or you're already working in a bank, then yeah, maybe FRM is better. Both are very good exams, in my opinion. CFA versus MBA is also a question. Now, this is like less of an apples to apples comparison, but you see, MBA, even if you do an MBA, I did an MBA as well. So even if you're doing an MBA in finance, it will still teach you about business management. MBA stands for Master of Business Administration. So an MBA will still teach you about HR practices, marketing, and all other aspects of running any business. So it is also a very good designation, a great designation, but not necessarily focused on finance. CFA will not teach you so much about managerial skills. It will teach you more about finance and valuation and investments, portfolio management. So yeah, that's the difference between CFA and MBA. And again, I don't think you should compare. I did an MBA as well, and I did a CFA, and I think both are very complementing and really helped me in my career. So yeah, you can decide for yourself. Yeah, my team has pulled up some comparisons here. I mean, I'm not going to go through them, but yeah, you can refer to this slide if you want a more direct comparison. Um, Similarly, between CFA, CPA, CFP is what students ask us a lot of times. So we've compiled this slide. I will just restrict myself to saying that CPA is more about accounting, whereas CFA is more about analysis after the accounts have been prepared. So CFA is more about analysis and valuation and decision making. CPA is more about accounting. CFP is more about financial planning and wealth management. So, and these are some of the differences. Yeah, Um, yeah, again, you can go through this slide about the comparison. And yeah, that's basically what I had to say about the CFA exam. And I work as a portfolio manager, and I've been doing this for I think 14, 15 years now. And definitely MBA, CFA, if I had to put one designation that has helped me the most, it'll be the CFA exam, but definitely MBA, FRM, all exams have helped me a lot. Very quickly about Finstructor's training program. I'm the lead instructor. My name is Aditya Aluwalia. You can see my profile on the website. And I truly believe that they have the world's best training program. And they'll start from the very basics and follow the curriculum entirely to the detail, explaining even the curriculum and all the notes that are available in the market. And I've personally gone through a lot of them. They don't explain the important concepts in details, is what we truly believe. So a very popular is the video series plus study material package. I think this is the should be a very good package right now. So you can see all my videos and practice questions, see the notes, take mock exams, and prepare for your exam. And generally the material is very good. There's doubts clearing with the material, and I'll take you through more about what we provide and how we train you for these exams on a separate session. But yeah, that's about CFA, and you can contact the team on WhatsApp. I'm personally based in Hong Kong, but the classes are accessible to you from anywhere in the world today. So it really doesn't matter where you're based. And classes are mainly on Zoom or mainly through videos. So it's You can access it wherever you're from. And yeah, I think if you can WhatsApp the team. That's the fastest way. They respond very fast to any queries. And you can visit the website finstructor.com for more details about the training program. Yeah, so that's it about the CFA course. So all the best, and hopefully you get your charter soon.